The Detroit Lions season is over after a heartbreaking loss. Last second, couldn't have come closer down to the wire against the Steelers on this Sunday afternoon game. The Lions are all but eliminated from the playoffs. Welcome back to Lions Digest, everybody. My name is Brian. Thank you guys all for tuning in today. As you can see, I'm still in my game day gear. I'm literally moments from seeing the end of the game. Had to get on to talk about what happened. The big news, all but eliminated. That is the case. We had worst case scenario. Packers lost to the Bears. Even with that, there was still a chance. We still had hope. We needed things to happen, but we were okay. And we let this one slip away. And with this game slipping away, likely the season. So let's get into it. What happened to this game? Why did we lose? How did it get to where it was? Insane play call. You saw it in the intro video. We can get into that as well. Bunch of things happened in this game. These are going to be more raw reactions. Be sure to tune in. I'll have a bunch of different videos highlighting specific moments throughout the week. But first and foremost, let's just get into what everyone is probably going to be talking about when they think about this game, and that is going to be this insane call. What a way for the Lions season to end. I couldn't think of one more bizarre way. Amon-Ra St. Brown, offensive pass interference on the goal line, catches the ball, laterals it to Jared Goff. Everyone doesn't know what's going on. It's pandemonium, panic everywhere. Everyone's saying it's on the other team. It's just a truly heartbreaking way for the season to end. Was it offensive pass interference? Pass interference is one of the most subjective calls in the game. There are clear and obvious, and then there's obviously play calls that aren't as obvious. Did he push off? It did look like it. But at a certain point, it's kind of like let the boys play. That being said, if we're on the other end of this, we're screaming about pass interference. I can see the call. First and foremost, we can see the call. But that is not what I believe is the true reason we lost. We didn't lose this game because of one call. Why we lost this game is that we didn't play well enough. First and foremost, we shouldn't have allowed it to get to this point where we needed a missed field goal and a last-minute drive. There's a lot of different ways that we lost this game, and we can see it right in the scorecard right here. I'll actually make this bigger for you guys so that you can see. The biggest one for me, and I've talked about this ad nauseum, the run game was horrendous. I don't remember a time when our run game was so non-existent that it became a non-factor. Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the premier running backs in the NFL, was a non-factor in this game. And genuinely, I got to give kudos to the defensive line for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because, whoa, they were absolutely clamping. David Montgomery couldn't get yards. Jahmyr Gibbs couldn't get any yards. We're looking at 16 yards of total rushing offense the entire game. I can't believe it. Jahmyr Gibbs had 2 yards of rushing on 7 attempts. That is where we lost the game. We've been the offensive line has been battered, right? We all know this. I had that whole video this week talking about TJ Watt and how him not playing was going to be a huge thing for Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Even with him not playing, it was just from the get-go, you could tell that was not going to happen. Williams, Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all decent games. Jahmyr Gibbs with 10 receptions, kind of crazy. But, man, that's where you lose. If our run game doesn't get going, we don't win the game. It is that simple, and this is yet another example of what happens when Gibbs or Montgomery is a non-factor, and we kind of gave up on the run. There was also the third quarter where we ran 3 plays. We had the ball for less than 1 minute in the third quarter. -3 yards offensively, and then they had the ball for 14 minutes and 9 seconds. That didn't help. We got to get the offense on the field. We got to get our defense off the field. And we were given opportunities to win. That missed kick, we had the time, we had the opportunity, and we just couldn't execute. I mean, Gibbs not being a factor. There was also, I believe this is another example of where Sam Laporta and Brock Wright would have been so crucial. That last play, and I'll go back to it. I know we all know the play I'm talking about here, but this last play down here, when you're in the red zone, that is your tight end bread and butter. When you're condensed, when you're compressed, where the field gets a lot smaller and it makes it a lot easier for the defense to cover a lot more. You want a guy like Brock Wright or Sam Laporta or as somebody to be able to get open and make a tough contested catch. That's where we need them. That's where they're good at. That's why you get a tight end. And, obviously they weren't here. And, we tried a couple times. While I can understand this offensive pass interference call, the one on Tesla, we sure about that? We sure that that's offensive pass interference and that's not the guy running into our wide receiver? To me, it seemed as if the Tesla was running his route, and then the defender, I don't have the guy's number, like I said, very raw reactions here. The Steeler ran into our guy, and Amon-Ra St. Brown got off scot-free. It looked like a screen to me, but look, game's over. You can't hang up on those plays because, like I said, you can't let it get to that situation. You can't let the refs decide the game, whether or not it's a call. I can see the offensive pass interference. This is not going to end up on the worst calls in the Lions sequel video that will probably be coming out soon. But, man, just absolutely. And then while our run game was stagnant throughout the entire game, they could not do anything but score 45-yard touchdowns. 2, in fact, from this man, Mr. Warren, 2 45-yard touchdowns in the fourth quarter. I mean, they were talking about a lot on the broadcast. Our secondary is abysmal. I mean, when I say that, I mean completely injured. We're getting guys off the street literally that haven't played in order to get in our safety, and you could tell because none of the run support, once they break free from the defensive line, was there throughout the entire game. 2 45-yard runs by the same guy. I mean, the same guy, whatever, but you can't allow 2 45-yard runs. You can't allow 1 45-yard run for a touchdown, especially in a close game like we had. And these are the plays, these are the moments, those little things, being injured, and you got to make your way through. The defense could not get off the field today. Man, I mean, there's not so much to, it's just so tough. It's so tough. I'll pull up the box score again. Like I said, Jared Goff had a great game. You can even see they gave up on the run. They had a total of 11 run attempts the entire game. Jared Goff was throwing the ball 54 times, and that's with him not playing in the third quarter, essentially. He had 3 plays that ended up in a safety. We had opportunities. It just our run game. It was our offensive line in the run game. We just couldn't put it together, and that's what happens. You're leaving the fates up to other things, and like I said, we had that video about the worst calls in Lions history. This won't be one of those because it was of our own making. It was of our own making. Man, we had it. I thought we had it. I really did. Like I said, I'll have more videos this week dissecting each of the things I've talked about here. What are your thoughts? Lions, less than a 5% chance, if I'm not mistaken, of making the playoffs now. Cannot win the division. We have to get a wild card. And the fate of our destiny is in other people's hands. We need a whole lot of stuff to happen in order for the Lions to make one of those wild card spots. I will definitely have a video later this week breaking down exactly what the Lions need to do in order to get in the playoffs. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit that like button. That way you get notifications every time that we are live. And in fact, I actually have a little stat here. A lot of you guys watching are not subscribed yet. So if you do want to get the earliest information possible, be sure to hit that subscribe button, everybody. Appreciate you all tuning in. Let me know your thoughts in the comments as well. What did you think of this game? What did you think of this season? Man, it's not looking too bright for the Lions, unfortunately. Thank you all for watching. I will see you guys next time right here on Lions Digest. Have a good one.